Overcast afternoon, quite humid, so there may be a little bit of swing for the Pakistan bowlers. They are very good at swinging the ball the best of times. Benuto, left-hander, 23 years of age, one of the many bright young batsmen on the Australia scene at the moment. Stuart Law a little bit more experienced. Very good record. One-day international Australia, right-hand batsman, 28 years of age, a higher score of 110, very good strike rate, an average of just over 30. So the umpires are in position. Wasim Akram, the left-arm fast medium bowler from the Randwick end, will bowl the first ball. He'll be bowling to Michael Di Venuto. Australia open their account as the ball goes down to fine leg. And it's a very good welcome and compliments of the season to Simon O'Donnell.
Yes, thanks, Greg. Same to yourself and all our listeners, viewers. It have been a very Merry Christmas, and 1997's a good one for you. Australian cricket's in a healthy state. I'm sure it's going to be a good one for them. Australian A team, when you look at it, analyse the players, I think it's the side that would be competitive against any international side that could be put on the arena. We're going to see a competitive game here this afternoon and this evening. Australian A's will be very keen to knock off Pakistan.
Stuart Law opens his account. Australia A now no wicket for 2. Stuart Law is the captain of Queensland. And the test players are away. Very good job. Queensland sitting astride the Sheffield Shield table at the moment. Been a lean season so far in the first class level for Stuart Law, but has a very good record. Michael Di Venuto, on the other hand, has continued his good form from last summer. It's one of the many Tasmanian batsmen scoring runs at the moment. Tasmania having had success against Pakistan last week. Wasim Akram is gently warming into his task here at the Sydney Cricket Ground on what looks to be a pretty evenly paced, with even bounce wicket here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Not a great deal of swing has been evident so far. And that's a very comfortable bounce there, just short of a length. Michael Di Venuto very quickly into position. That's the end of the first over in this game. 6 runs from it. Australia none for 6. Waqar Younis is the other opening bowler for Pakistan, as he usually is. Another terrific record in international cricket, both test matches and one-day internationals. The Australian A team got away to a pretty start.
Certainly did. Michael Di Venuto rocking back, using plenty of the crease. Gained plenty of time to just put that away. Now that looked effortless. Fair indication that this wicket is going to be good to bat on this afternoon. Didn't seem to be much pace in that delivery. It was the last ball of Wasim Akram's first over. He should have warmed into his work. Wasn't a lot of assistance from the wicket for him.
Stuart Law finds the gap. The outfield fairly fast, and that ball downhill and into the boundary. So a good start for Australia A.
Yes, already this wicket looking as if it's very much a batsman's paradise. Stuart Law, one of his favourite shots. You see him play that many a time when a bowler over pitches. Foot to the pitch of the ball, straight through the line, the full face of the bat. Perfect placement. Races away to the boundary. Looks classical every time he plays it.
Again, indication that the wicket is a good one for one-day cricket. Waqar Younis has been around for quite a while for Pakistan. Still a relatively young man, born in 1971. 247 wickets in 147 matches of limited overs cricket. Waqar Younis, 6 for 26 being his best back in 89-90. Another prodigious swinger of the ball. And that's another good shot.
Gee, this wicket's a good one. Easy 3 there for the Australian A side. Stuart Law looking in fine form again, just rocking on front foot, this time through mid-on. Very strong forward of the wicket. You see here, perfect timing, full face of the bat again. That ball's run away for an easy 3. Younis, to his credit, still pitching the ball up after a couple of strong drives from Stuart Law, giving it an opportunity to swing, trying to utilise the new ball and any swing that may be here early on while it's still hard and shiny. Stuart Law so far has taken full toll.
Waqar Younis still trying to get the ball to swing, pitching it up. Just a bit of angle this time, away from the left-hander. Just the one wicket so far this summer in the Carlton and United series. That was against Australia in Adelaide. Failed to take a wicket in 5 overs against the West Indies, also in Adelaide. He's played a lot of cricket, particularly limited overs matches. He knows what's expected of him. He'll be trying to swing the ball away from the left-hander, basically into the right-hander. Fine edge onto the pad. That'll also race away. It's a great start for Australia A.
They're certainly off to a flyer. 4 more to Michael Di Venuto. Just a fine edge. You'll see him move in line with the stumps. Waqar Younis will take note of this, but that movement well inside the stumps. He nearly gets a look at leg stump. That enables him to get it very fine when it's pitched on the leg. Here we have another view, and gee, got that nice and fine, and that gave the fine leg hope of coming across and cutting it off. It's a flyer for Australia 8 in the second over, and then none for 17.
None for 17 after 2 overs. Wasim Akram continues. Stuart Law, the right-hander of this partnership, been a very productive cricketer over the years, particularly in recent times, having taken over the captaincy of Queensland cricket 3 seasons ago. His own cricket really seems to have come of age. The responsibility the captaincy really has brought the best out of Stuart Law. He instrumental in Queensland winning the Sheffield Shield a couple of seasons ago. Leads the side with some flair and positive attitude. He's been a very high scorer in one-day cricket.
A little bit of movement here for Wasim Akram. We're going to turn that ball just in front of square and beaten for pace. Nasty spot to cop a blow at pace. He's taking a few minutes just to get himself right. 31 matches in his one-day career here in Australia. Good strike rate of 87.7. A healthy average in excess of 40. Any cricketer can be quite happy with that.
DiVenuto 9, Law 8. 2 boundaries to Michael DiVenuto, just the one to Stuart Law. Very good strike rate for both. Captain not happy. His line and length there at the end of 3 overs. Australia A, none for 18. Younis still keeping the ball pitched up. In the over here at the Sydney Cricket Ground, Australia A batting. Stuart Law, the Australia A captain, having won the toss, elected to bat first. And Australia A none for 18 after 3.2 overs. Stuart Law opening with Michael DiVenuto. They're both on 9. On a pretty good batting wicket. The ball has bounced pretty evenly and with good pace. So that's the Australia A side. Anthony Stewart was named fourth man. Stuart Law, Michael DiVenuto, Ricky Ponting, Darren Lehmann, Andrew Simons, Ian Harvey, Adam Gilchrist, Sean Young, Jeff Foley, Andrew Bickle and Bradley Young make up the Australia A side. Pakistan, on the other hand, fairly strong team for Pakistan. Amir Sahel, Shahid Afridi, Ijaz Ahmed, Inzamam Al-Haq, Zahur Ahi, Mohammad Wasim Akram, the captain, Moen Khan, wicketkeeper Saqlain Mushtaq Ahmed, Waqar Younis, Shahid Nazir is the 12th man. So in the 4th over here at the Sydney Cricket Ground, Australia A batting first, none for 18. Well, there's not a great deal of joy out there at the moment for the Pakistan bowlers. There's not a great deal of movement from the pitch. Good consistent bounce at good pace for the Australia A batsmen. So conditions very much favour of the batting side. With some good batting, we should see a pretty good game and some reasonable high scoring.
You certainly should, Greg. See from that previous shot, it's a little dusty, the wicket, and crusty. It's dry. It's going to be good to bat on. Stuart Law is appreciating that at the moment. We're going to see, I think, some changes of pace from these two experienced bowlers, Waqar Younis and Wasim Akram. They bowl with fearsome pace, particularly on wickets that give them some assist. They're not going to get a lot here this afternoon from a pace point of view. Stuart Law must be pretty confident about it. There's an enormous gap in between his grill and the lid of his helmet. Michael DiVenuto very different. I don't think a ball will be getting through towards him, but Stuart Law, there's a fair gap there for a ball to get through.
The end of the 4th over, none for 18. After a flying start, the Australia A side have been slowed down somewhat in the last couple of overs. Now none for 19 after 5. Michael Di Venuto, the man in picture there, is facing Waqar Younis, who is now going to bowl from around the wicket to the left-hander. Side screen just being adjusted. Younis just also adjusting his bowler's mark. Has an initial marker about halfway back from the bowling crease, and he scratches another just inside the circle where he starts his run from, hits that with his right foot, hits the next one with his right foot, and he should be pretty right.
Waqar Younis, as has Wasim Akram, good look at this wicket and figured out there's not a lot of pace and help in it for him with this new ball. See both the great fast bowlers discussing what the ball's up to at the moment. It's probably already shaved a little bit of the leather off, not as shiny and hard. These hard, dusty wickets, it does take one away very quickly, and he'll realise he's got to adjust his pace and his angle. That's why we would have seen him come around the wicket to Michael Di Venuto, try and tighten him up, make him play in front of the wicket.
Stuart Law driving on the rise. Again, we see the pace of the outfield here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. If you can beat the infield, and you've got any timing at all in the shot, the ball will race away to the boundary. Stuart Law just hit through the line on this occasion, got the ball fairly high on the bat, very close to the middle.
Placement was spot on from Stewie Law. You can just open the face, work that ball in between cover and point. Field's set off for the chase, but it's in vain. Lovely driver of the ball. Playing with a lot of confidence, Stuart Law. 2 boundaries in his 13 so far.
Very good all-round player. Tries to flash this one away on the offside. Probably went to hit it a bit squarer than the previous shot. A little bit of extra bounce on this occasion.
It's a yard quicker too, beaten a little for pace. A little more effort from Waqar Younis into that delivery. Very experienced cricketer, 147 matches. Just having a little problem with his run-ups at the moment. See by Tony McQuillan giving him some assistance. Run-up area just as he goes into his delivery stride. Foot. A little trouble getting a leap, maybe some movement in the grass. We'll see a new laid area there behind the umpire. That's where Waqar Younis is having a few problems. As he comes into his delivery stride, just next to Tony McQuillan on his left, as he's walked past there now, as he delivers where the new laid grass joins back of the wicket, you can see the browned off area. That is where there's probably some shifty ground. He's struggling in his takeoff, not getting the height to twist his hips. There it is there. You saw that ground shift, and that's what's caused a little problem.
Waqar Younis warming to his work in his 3rd over. Just checking the footmarks again, just on the front foot. 16 runs have come from his almost 3 overs. Of boundaries in that. As Australia A get away to a pretty good start. 2 good all-round batsmen here, a left and a right-hander. Di Venuto very strong on the offside. Stuart Law pretty good all wicket, but particularly strong also on the offside. Tries to make room for himself and nearly had a fair bit of time to contemplate. None for 24. Law on 11. DiVenuto 13. Wasim Akram continues. And no ball. First of the day's play. Australia A now none for 26. They're in the 6th over. Two experienced Pakistan bowlers. They struggled in their first over or so just to get the length right, but since then they've been able to peg it back, make it just harder for the Australia A batsman. DiVenuto trying to whip one away on the leg side. Probably wasn't quite short enough.
It gives you an indication of how good this wicket is, that Michael DiVenuto is prepared to play shots such as this one. A world-class bowler. Now, that wasn't short enough, but he's obviously got the confidence that he can get back on his stumps and whip him through his favourite mid-wicket.
That's a fair record. 315 wickets from 219 day matches for Wasim Akram. What a great bowler he has been. Just missing leg stump, I would say. Umpire Steve Davis having a good look at it, but shakes the head, a little bit of a wry smile, indicating that it was pretty close.
Close, but not close enough. That just tailing to miss that leg stump. Would have missed it by a good 6 or 8 inches in the end. Worth a shout, making sure Steve Davis is on his game.
Then the slower ball doesn't even get through to the wicketkeeper. The previous delivery was an indication of just how good Wasim Akram can be when he gets the ball to swing. They've struggled so far today, but the one that wrapped Michael DiVenuto on the pad was the first one that showed any real indication of swinging. And it swung pretty late. That's what he does very well, better than most. This time he's got onto it on the leg side. A much longer boundary out there, but again, the timing's pretty good.
Nothing wrong with that. Michael DiVenuto tried to do that earlier in the over. A couple of deliveries into the over. It was not short enough. This one, a little shorter, has enabled him to give him time, get back on that back foot and pull it away just in front of square. Anything these bowlers bowl short, he is going to give it the full treatment if he can. Realises big score has to be scored here at the SCG.
A pull shot from Michael DiVenuto has brought about a field change from Wasim Akram. He shifted the fieldsman just backward of square leg to fielding just by the square leg umpire, just in front of square, more or less where that previous delivery went. Good combination here between Law and Michael DiVenuto. They're both very strong on either side of the wicket. Makes it very hard for the bowlers. None for 30, the end of 7 overs. Law, 15 DiVenuto, none for 30 Australia A. A very positive start. Stuart Law has led the way. He's tried to manufacture a couple of shots, as has Michael DiVenuto. Mixed success. More good than bad.
As the day goes on, I think we're going to see this pitch wear and become quite dusty. See here, we're into the 8th over. Waqar Younis are having problems with his foot marks because they're shifting. And this wicket is already becoming crusty. Very dark where he does land with both his back and front foot. Quite easily shifting the ground. Indicates this wicket is particularly dry and has a crusty surface to it. Isn't rock hard. Maybe underneath, but the first half inch or so is quite crusty.
Nicks it, or would have gone straight to first slip, but instead it's gone straight to the boundary. A good delivery from Waqar Younis there, a little bit of extra bounce, just angled across the left-hander. Michael DiVenuto probably trying to hit it just a little bit too hard, got a thick edge, keeper couldn't get there.
Good effort from Moeen Khan. He's missed it by a long way, but he went with the delivery, with the angle of the ball, gave himself every chance. Michael Di Venuto can count himself lucky. Moeen Khan didn't get far enough across, or that Wasim Akram had taken out that slip. That's the extra bounce these bowlers can get out of a dead wicket. They're changing their pace. They're trying to make it as hard as possible for the Australians to get into any rhythm, and not sensing that they could get that extra bounce and have a slip in. They do now. Inzamam al-Haq has now gone into first slip. You could possibly say shutting the gate after the horse has bolted.
This time, thick outside edge again. This time it's going much squarer. 2 runs. The previous delivery was a very good one from Waqar Younis. Again, we'll see on the replay just a hint of movement as well as the bounce. Just watch the ball start to swing. That again is what Waqar is very good at. As this ball gets a little bit older and they can rough up one side from just the general wear and tear from the pitch, polishing the other side as he's doing there, you'll probably see this ball start to swing a little bit more than it has so far. So Waqar Younis starting to generate some of the pace and a bit of the swing and bounce we've come to expect from him. Really has been a good bowler for Pakistan for a number of years now. Nice balanced run up, slack ball there, which means that he's nice and relaxed. That's the one that bounced a little bit. First slip would have had it right in the breadbasket. He'd been there prior to that delivery. Spitfieldsman, you can see there now, was moved in after the event. In the air, but over. Backward square leg. Not so much timing this time. Fine leg fieldsman should get there comfortably. Puts it down to 2.
Playing Mushtaq doing the fielding. Di Venuto showing a liking for anything short on his pads. Saqlain Mushtaq coming around, a good piece of fielding. Good to see the energy from the Pakistanis. They've got to turn it around today. Performances against Pakistan and Queensland, Tasmania and Queensland I should say, well below the standard they would like to set for themselves. Today must be the day they get themselves back on the rails.
Pretty good over for Australia, 9 runs coming from it, none for 39.
For 39 here at the SCG in the match against Pakistan. Stuart Law won the toss, decided to bat. He's playing quite well. Michael Di Venuto playing extremely well. It's going to be Wasim Akram to continue. McChappell was talking about them being a good combination, apart from the fact that they're left and right hand, Stuart Law and Michael Di Venuto. What also makes them a difficult combination to bowl to, we've got Stuart Law, a very good driver of the ball, and Michael Di Venuto, an excellent player of the horizontal bat shots. So they complement each other well. Looks to be a pretty good track for a one-day game out there, Kerry O'Keefe.
Yes, Ian, Peter Leroy seems to have got this pitch up pretty well. Just a hint that the slower balls are holding, as they should. But quickish outfield, ground in better order than it has been. Plenty of opportunity for batsmen to get in and get big scores.
Ijaz, the fieldsman, on the shorter side of the ground.
Stuart Law just taking the ball from around off stump across the line, but such is his form at the moment, coming off a brilliant 100 in a Shield game and runs again against the Pakistanis on Thursday night at the Gabba. seeing them like a football.
Wazim Akram is just moving Inzamam Al-Hakim meter to satisfy the umpire's demands. Inzamam just saying to the umpire, excuse me, umpire, the mark a couple of metres behind me. Tony McQuillan just pointing out that the white line that Inzamam's got in mind is perhaps an old one. No ball called by umpire Davis.
Frustration out there for the Pakistanis. Wazim Akram wicketless against Queensland at the Gabba on Thursday night. None for 50 off 10, yet tried throughout the match. Bowled well, directed his field diligently and came in at 6 and really tried to get his team to the line. Not much luck for him in recent times, overstepping the mark there. He really is straining to get his best form in Australia. And Pakistan dearly need it if they're to be a force in this summer's Carlton United series. Strike rate of 100 here for Michael Di Venuto. Brilliant driver and pounces on anything short.
Australia A, none for 44. And captain Wazim Akram resorting to spin. It's very successful off spinner Saqlain Mushtaq coming into the attack at the Paddington end. Very good cricketer, Saqlain. He's a good competitor, and for a finger spinner he turns it quite away. He's out to confuse the pace. He's got somebody else's shirt on. In fact, it looks like the injured fast bowler Zahid has lent him a shirt. You can see there 11 on the pants for Saqlain, 17 on the shirt. Oh, that's ridiculous. Calling that a wide, that is ridiculous. I'm not surprised the bowler's stunned. That's poor umpiring.
And Saqlain just suggesting to umpire Tony McQuillan it's just brushed his hip on the way through. That's how tight it was. Or just clipped the outside of his pad. So big questionable decision from the Queenslander.
Late call there from Michael Di Venuto, but he's home.
And good running here. Saqlain, a big spinner of the ball, as Ian Chappell's mentioned, and he could have a wicket to suit. Both teams have stacked their side with spinners. Australia A leaving out Anthony Stewart, the opening bowler, in the back their part-time slow bowlers. And Pakistan have this man on screen, Saqlain, the wily leg spinner Mushtaq Ahmed, Shahid Afridi and Amir Sohail. So plenty of options for Akram. And perhaps he might have a pitch tailor-made for the slowies.
Lovely ball, Saqlain.
Sarkleen Mushtaq got a Man of the Match award in the first game of the CUB series. Picked up 5 wickets in that match against Australia, 5 for 29 to take Pakistan home to victory in a very tight match.
Come on, skipper!
Well, wicket-keeper's taking a bit of a risk there. Come on, skipper. Not a good idea to get on the skipper's case too early in the game.
Wasim Akram from a standing start really had no chance. Moeen Khan is asking a fair bit of the captain.
Just a hint of turn there for Sarkleen. Australia A, none for 49 after 10. Australia A getting off to a very good start. Virtually 5 runs per over in the first 10. Michael Di Venuto scoring 25 runs from 28 deliveries. Inside edge. Well stopped there by Moeen Khan.
Moeen did well against Queensland at the Gabba the other night too, tidied up, urged his team in the field. Does well here, some good glove work. Batted stoically. Very combative cricketer is Moeen Khan.
There's a short, fine leg up there. Turned out to be a good move. It's quite amazing how Moeen Khan has turned things around. When he was out here in Australia a season ago, his keeping was awful and his footwork was virtually non-existent. Suddenly he's done some work, got the feet moving, and he's really keeping with a lot of confidence now. Example of the Moeen footwork. That's very well bowled and well run by Stuart Law.
This pair come from different states, but you wouldn't know it. Tremendous call from Law. He saw the chance of a signal wide of Moeen. Through easily. Di Venuto responded quickly. So already this pair have developed an understanding.
Another good run. Shahid Afridi at backward point, having to move to his left.
Stuart Law, good angle of the bat. Just gone to the fielder's left. As such was the calling, both moving together, they were through easily. So robust start from Australia A, having won the toss. Big score in prospect.
Mushtaq at third man. Australia A, none for 52. That's a nice drive. Well run. It was a very cheeky single. Ball hit straight to the fieldsman and very firmly. Really shouldn't have been a run there.
This running between the wickets gone from good understanding to psychic, because now they're hitting it straight at fieldsmen and taking them on. He would have got home as well. Tremendous stuff from the Australian A openers. Really backing themselves against fielding which is on the ball.
Come on!
He's hit and run at the moment. Keeping that run rate moving along very nicely. Almost up to 5.
Tactics against these spinners today will be interesting. Alan Border said prior to this game that, having seen the Pakistan spinners against Queensland, that there was a way of playing them that perhaps Queensland didn't employ. And he's going to...
That's well hit by Michael Di Venuto.
Alan Border was going to suggest that they milk a couple of these spinners, particularly Suck Lane, but not a lot of milking going on at the moment. Di Venuto backing himself. It's a fine square of the wicket player.
He's thumped that, and it should have been caught. Suck Lane will be very disappointed that Amir Sohail hasn't taken that. Normally a very fielder, Sohail.
Consecutive sweeps from Di Venuto. First one went for 2, and this one to Sohail, some 15 metres inside the mid-wicket fence. Should have been taken. He went with the angle. There was a bit of purchase, but above head height, but he never really got up.
It's quite a good piece of bowling by Saqlain Mushtaq. He gave him the top spinner just well, slightly towards the top edge. Sohail seemed to misjudge it. Nine runs off the over. It's none for 61.
Fact.
Australia A really moving along. Good clip here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. 12 overs have been bowled. They're none for 61. Michael Di Venuto 35. He really is going after the bowling at every opportunity. Geez, played that pull shot well on a number of occasions.
He's one of the strongest pullers in the country, Michael Di Venuto, and he's short. And he used the crease well. He knew there was no outfield, got it over the infield, and it's raced away. Got the weight nicely back, kept his head still at contact. I think the Pakistanis will do well to keep away from anything short against him and in this field at mid-wicket. So suddenly their work has become sloppy. The pressure that this pair is exerting is starting to show.
Amir Sohail having a bit of a rough trot here. It is slightly rough there where he's fielding, and the ball may have bounced sideways. Perhaps he didn't get the knee behind it as he should have. Now joining in the picnic.
Stuart Law, who's played so many good innings here for Queensland on this pitch, when he gets his head outside the line, there's trouble for opposition. He's beautiful through the leg side. Here his head immediately outside the line, backs himself. Good execution of a clip through mid-wicket. Real danger signs here for Pakistan. 23 from 37. He's lifted his strike rate to 62. I think he likes this pitch. Just
wide of man at short cover. captain is not too thrilled with what's happening out there at the moment.
On the up and wide short cover. Stuart Law prepared to take fielders on. That was a back foot shot played off the front foot. So confident is he at the moment that he's prepared to strike through the line. Just run down the hill through cover.
Bouncing just short of the keeper was the slower ball from Wasim Akram. Pakistan fieldsmen just need to concentrate on their job a little. They're taking the eye off the ball. See Waqar coming up from third man, just misfielded it because he was looking at what the batsmen were doing rather than making sure he watched the ball into the hands. Easy two. It's none for 75 after 30. Australia A, none for 75 after 13 overs. It's very good batting, very aggressive batting from Stuart Law, Michael Di Venuto. So Plain Mushtaq is going to continue from the Paddington end.
Pakistan have got to be careful. As Ian Chappell has said, this is an infield which punishes you dearly unless you keep your eye right on the ball and get it into your hand. It's roughed up, there's an unevenness, there's a sandiness to it. We've seen a lot of fumbling, a lot of mistiming of hands. And the Pakistanis really have to buckle down here because Australia A are running at every opportunity and challenging them.
Excellent shot, picking the gap beautifully. Long chase there for Inzamam, who has a strong arm. Well, here at the Sydney Cricket Ground, we've seen some very exciting stuff from the Australia A openers. Stuart Law won the toss, decided to bat first. He's batting well. He's currently on 29, but Michael Di Venuto has really been taking it to the Pakistan bowlers with 44 from just 42 deliveries. Australia A, none for 78 after 13.2 overs, and that's an example of how Di Venuto has been going for the bowling. So it's been a combination of aggressive shots and aggressive running between wickets, and Pakistan have got some problems here at the SCG with Australia A at none for 78 after 13.3 overs.
One only.
Saqlain has a strange method, different to the left and right hand bowlers. To the right handers, he does try and spin big off breaks back. He actually bowled Law with a beauty against Queensland, but tends to bowl more round arm against the left handers and try to slide them in from outside off stump. So differing methods to the different hands. It's an interesting study, is Saqlain.
So it's really been a lot of very solid overs, with the one big one, the 13th over, which we saw 14 runs scored. A lot of good overs.
Easy, Jat bhai, well done, well
That's
done.
well fielded. It's none for 79. This Australia A versus Pakistan match started in very exciting fashion. Young Australian players really coming out with an aggressive approach. Got after the Pakistan captain to the point where he's now taken himself out of the attack. It's going to be the leg spinner Mushtaq Ahmed, coming from the Randwick end. He replaces Wasim Akram. 7 overs for 36, Wasim Akram. he was punished with some very good pull shots played by Michael Di Venuto.
Entertainment so far and promises to get better here, because Mushtaq Ahmed, with every delivery, is trying something. The batsmen are on the job. There's only going to be one winner here. This fellow is not to be taken slightly. He loves a challenge, and he has one here against Di Venuto and Law.
That'll be called a wide, well down leg side.
One only.
And a deep backward square. Very good record, Mushtaq Ahmed, particularly in the last 12 months. Really, his renaissance started in Hobart. He'd been out of the Pakistan Test side, got back into it for the Hobart match, picked up 5 wickets in an innings there, and really has looked up tremendously since that point. He just knocked up getting wickets.
Bowling machine. Great ball, boy.
Yet to try a big leg spinner, Mushtaq. Normally tries to get the radar right with some top spinners and zuttas.
Good placement there from Stuart Law. Just waited on that delivery nicely. He's got lovely timing.
You get punished here at the SCG unless your length is completely right, especially the spinners, and Law, realising that he'd erred, Mushtaq, giving him a bit of length to work with. Not a lot, mind you, but enough. Beautiful swing of the bat through point.
It's 50 for Michael Di Venuto. No, in fact, they pull it back just inside the fence. Chased there by Ijaz, the shorter side of the ground.
Both batsmen looking to play Mushtaq off the back foot. Could be a clever move on this pitch.
Yourself.
That one will be the 50. Hit right off the middle of the bat. That's been a terrific knock from Michael Di Venuto.
Only occasionally mentioned amongst the young pretenders in Australian cricket, Michael Di Venuto. But 52 from 48 deliveries. He's very hurtful at the top of the order. That's 3 for Tasmania in Sheffield Shield cricket, but a fine half-century from him. It's no wicket for 90.
No wicket for 90 after 15 overs. A tremendous start by them. Stuart Law on 32, Michael Di Venuto on 52. And Di Venuto having played just 48 deliveries. It's been a tremendous start by the Australian A side. Really have run brilliantly between the wickets. They've put the loose balls away. And a run rate there just under 6 and over. It's a very, very good effort indeed. And there's been some talk for some time cricket circles that the need in the first 15 overs is to go over the top and play big strokes. Stuart and Michael Di Venuto have shown that there's no need to hit the ball too frequently in the air. Not out, down the leg side. Yes, there's no need to go too silly in that first 15 overs if you bat sensibly and run well between the wickets to achieve 6 runs and over. It's been a good effort from them, Greg Chappell.
It had Greg, and just a little flick on the leg side there, just on the pad, I think, or thigh pad. Moeen Khan asking the question. But it really has been some very intelligent batting, some good running between wickets, some good stroke play on what is a very good wicket for one-day cricket. Gives the batsmen a chance to play their shots all round the wicket. She's been able to pull back and make room for themselves. They've played some very, very good shots. Michael Di Venuto, 52 in 48 balls, 25 scoring shots, and they've come on both sides of the wicket. I think that's always a good sign that the pitch is good for one-day cricket. 12 ones, twos and 7 fours in that 52 for Di Venuto. A terrific start for him and for Australia A.
One thing that they've done particularly well, they haven't allowed the Pakistan spinners, Saqlain and Mushtaq, to dictate terms one little piece, nor to and to Yunus. They've put good pressure on the Pakistanis with good running between the wickets. Excellent. No wicket for 91 and plenty of batting to come in this Australian A side. Ricky Ponting at 3, Lehmann, Simmons, Harvey, Gilchrist, Young, Foley. They really do bat right down. Andrew Bickle has just made a half century in a recent Sheffield Shield match. So batting right down to number 10. In the air, but safe. Over the man at mid-off, and that's going to run all the way to the boundary. The first time that Stuart Law has been prepared to go over the top, and he does it in stunning style.
Yes, but the good thing about this shot is that it's a normal cricket shot. It's basically an off drive with just a bit of elevation. The ball pitched well up. He hasn't bothered about keeping it on the ground because he had enough room just to pick it up, clear the infield, and have the ball race away to the boundary. That really is a good cricket shot there from Stuart Law. There have been quite a few of them so far in this innings.
That's a pretty good comeback. Mushtaq. That shot from Stuart Law has the change in the field. The man at mid-off now has dropped back about 3/4 of the way to the boundary. You can see him there just in the left of your screen. So man back at long on as well. So anything pitched up now, Stuart Law's able to go straight down the ground, along the ground, to pick up the single. Just like that. So again, good batting from the Australian ace, pushing the field back and then utilising that field change to keep the run rate ticking over. Nothing silly required out there. At the moment, that run rate in excess of 5.5 runs and over. That'll mean that the Australian A side should post a very, very good total here at the SCG. Sweep shot once again. There's a man down at deep backward square. Saqlain. To Di Venuto, he is really in tremendous touch at the moment. Good player, square of the wicket. He's implemented that sweep to both Saqlain and to Mushtaq. He hits it so confidently. It's just a little wide. He finds the boundary with it. There's been a lot of runs or a lot of wickets for Mushtaq this summer. Tremendous running between the wickets. That's really superb into they're trying to achieve out there, forcing the field back and then just dropping it at their feet and taking the singles.
The young Australian players putting the pressure on the Pakistan fielders and the bowlers for that matter. And it really is getting some good results for them.
One only.
Another very, very good over from Australian A's point of view. 8 runs coming from Stuart Law on 39, both having faced 52 deliveries. It's been an excellent start by the young Australian A side. They really have given their teammates an excellent platform which to launch as this innings progresses. So Klein to continue. Plenty of chat behind the stumps from Moin Khan, the wicketkeeper, trying to lift this Pakistan side. They haven't had a good time of it of late. It's been more their batting the problem than their bowling. Today they've come up against 2 Australian cricketers who are playing beautifully and running very, very well between the wickets. Safely home. Divinuto extremely quick between the wickets. He was running to the danger end. But such is the understanding between he and Stuart Law at the moment. They are so confident. And he turned and went straight away.
That brings up the 100 opening partnership. A good throw would have had him in a lot of trouble. In the end, he's comfortably home, and a good call from umpire Steve. Didn't bother about the third umpire. Made his own decision and comfortably home, Michael Divinuto. I think that's good that the umpires are prepared to back their own judgment.
Again, excellent placement. They're going to look for 2 here. Stuart Law coming to the danger end. The throw was very wide, and again comfortably home. Tremendous amount of pressure now on the bowlers to get it spot on, because they're bowling good deliveries, and the 1s and 2s are still coming from those.
That's it, 103 from 107 balls. What a great start it's been for Australia A.
Just a single down to deep backward square. $11 boundaries in the partnership. That's been a feature of the batting by these 2 men. When they've had an opportunity to find the boundary, they've done it very, very well. But as well as that, they've worked the ball beautifully. It's a superb run rate at this stage of their innings. You can see there's some excellent overs. One in excess of 12 and over, but an awful lot around about 6 and over. And there's been no wholesale slogging, no looking to belt the bowlers over the top early on. Just sensible cricket and good running between the wickets. Both Stuart Law and Michael Divinuto find the gaps well. Mushtaq being a little expensive there, 2 overs for 19 runs. Something that doesn't happen to him all that often. Another good over from Australian A, 5 runs coming from it, no wicket for 100. He's a good bowler, this young man. He possesses a quicker delivery, about 3 or 4 yards quicker than his standard leg spin. And it's causing batsmen all over the country some problems. Quite quick through the air. That's good placement once again from Divinuto. We've been talking about these 2 as their ability to find the gaps in the field has been just excellent today. 3 wickets for Afridi, limited overs competition to date. Single out wicket. And just a little bit of sloppiness coming into the fielding from the Pakistan side. Waqar Younis out at deep mid-wicket.
Shahid Afridi quite a bit quicker through the air than Mushtaq. Therefore, a bit harder for the Australian A batsman to get down the wicket to him. Tends to bowl the ball pretty much in line with the stumps.
Ball pitching outside the leg stump. Over call by Steve Davis. No wicket for 107. Venuto 62, Stuart Law on 39. Sir Clain Mushtaq to continue the members' end here at the SCG on a very, very good pitch. Just a single to mid-on.
Well, it's important for Australia A that these two keep it going now. They've got away to a fantastic start. But the thing that can cause some problems for the Australian A team is if they lose wickets in the middle order quickly and all of a sudden the run rate stalls. They've got a run rate now of well over 5.5 and over. They can't get too greedy. You so often this happen where you get away to a good start, you've got a good run rate, and all of a sudden you see some loose shots such as that one there, trying to force a shot that's not on. All of a sudden you think, well, if we can get 5.6 we can maybe get 7 runs and over, and this one, the length is nowhere near right for that shot there. Has to be much fuller.
Yourself.
By getting greedy and all of a sudden thinking of a score of around about 300, 320, the innings loses its way, and in the middle overs you lose 2 or 3 quick wickets, and all of a sudden the run rate drops down well below 5, and you finish up with an ordinary score.
Catch it.
Almost holing out to Wasim Akram, the captain, at mid-wicket. Waqar Younis does the fielding at deep mid-wicket. Greg Chappell mentioning, you see that happens so often. Sides get away to a good start. They do lose some wickets in the middle, and it becomes difficult for the batsman coming out to the crease to sustain the run rate that has been set by the players who are out there and doing the job. Nothing wrong with being none for 200 at the 40 over mark, because from there you can really then give it some Larry Doodle at the end.
Easy.
Well, I think that's important. What Australia A need here is for Stuart Law and De Venuto both to get 100. If they can do that, then they can do some of that Larry who.
Well, Larry Doodle is what I was taught when you gave it a slog. No wicket for 109. Shahid Afridi is continuing. Stuart Law. Good crowd in the members. The SCG, that's the ladies' stand. Nice vantage point which to watch the action.
Catch it.
Driven and straight through the man at short cover, and that's going to run all the way to the boundary. It's just been a period now where the Australian A side has been dried up since the action of Afridi into the attack, but Stuart Law breaks the shackles again with another classic cover drive.
Wasim Akram, the fielder, cover position. The ball was in the air for a while, but never going to carry. Almost half volleyed. Very awkward length, in fact, for Wasim Akram there. And skimming away from him. Hit that with a lot of power.
Good work behind the stumps from Moen Khan, but it's been called a wide. The umpire, Steve Davies, the umpires have been very severe on anything down the leg side. Afridi does tend to drift down that way with the one he tries to push through.
Yes, it does get pushed down the leg side. Stuart Law unable to get around quickly enough on it, probably trying to hit it just a bit too hard.
Lovely ball, Shahid.
The advantage which Law and De Venuto have is that they are well and truly set. Whilst they're giving some of these bowlers a stick, it's that much harder for a new batsman coming in.
Just a single.
flag might be flying there, but really is Australia A's flag the stronger here so far in this game.
That's going to be caught, gone. So Divenuto holds out. Shahid Afridi gets the breakthrough for Pakistan. Michael Divenuto will be a little unhappy with that. Could have hit that to any number of places rather than straight down the throat of Waqar Younis, a deep mid-wicket who held the catch. An important breakthrough for the Pakistanis, picking up their first wicket. Australia A, one wicket now for 115. Divenuto gone.
Perhaps not quite short enough for that shot. Was forced him to hit it right to where the fieldsman was placed. The sort of shot that we were talking about a while ago, which may just cause a slowing down in the run rate for Australia.
Two batsmen for Australia A.
Go!
And immediately straight off the mark. Playing Mushtaq continuing from the members' end. And Ricky Ponting is out there as a result of the dismissal of Michael Divenuto. Had played very, very well for 63 before he got this ball from Shahid Afridi.
Fast delivery, pushed through. Divenuto trying to go squarer than he really finished up going. Because the ball wasn't quite as short, perhaps he thought, instead of going square, it went more to mid-wicket. That's exactly where Waqar Younis was placed. Comfortable catch for him. So the first Australia A wicket down at 115.
Easy. Keep bowling, boy.
Again, we'll have a look at the dismissal of Divenuto.
Just one.
Just a single down to deep backward square. This might just pull the reins of Stuart Law in a little bit. The wicket of Michael Divenuto falling. He was looking to get on with it just prior to that dismissal. If there is a criticism of Stuart Law in these limited overs matches, he does tend to get a start and then gets out in the 40s and 50s a little bit.
There may have been an understanding between Law and Divenuto that while they were both going, perhaps they should keep going, take the risk of trying to extend the run rate. Once one of them got out, it then becomes important that the other one, in this case Stuart Law, goes on and bats through the bulk of the innings and gets a big 100.
Loud call of no from Stuart Law. Australia A now 1 for 117.
1 for 117 from 22. Divenuto a run of 63. Law is 46, and the new man in Ricky Ponting on 1.
One.
It's the fastest leg spin of Shahid Afridi operating from the Randwick end. Australia A very well positioned here. No rabbits in the 11. Brad Young is listed at number 11, and he is capable of 20 or 30. So tremendous talent at the disposal of Alan Border's coach team, and I think he intends to make use of every one of them. Big innings from this fellow today, Ricky Ponting. Going to be examined by some pretty good bowlers. Afridi at the moment, Sack Lane from the other end, and potentially Mushtaq at some stage. Significant innings from him today. So runs coming thick and fast, Simon, and plenty more, you'd think.
Yes, it looks that way, Kerry. It's a beautiful one-day wicket. It's dry, a little bit crusty. A difficult situation for Ricky Ponting. Great partnership between Divenuto and Stuart Law initially. .115 was that partnership. Not easy to come in batting after strong partnership such as that. Ricky Ponting probably had time to have a look at what was happening at the MCG. just been omitted this test match in Melbourne. Batting at number 3. And back to that shortly. Australia A 100.
Australia A 1 for 121 after 23 overs. Stuart Law 2 short of a half century, and the new man Ponting 3 from 7. Change of bowler from the Paddington end. It's going to be the left arm orthodox spin of Amir Sohail. Very much a part of their one-day bowling plans. Amir fills in as the 6th bowler. Starts with a short one. But always seems to bowl, regardless of how many quality spinners are in the side. Sarklain, Mushtaq and Afridi, the senior men, but Sohail often given 3 or 4 overs. And the slash through point, they'll come back for 2. And Stuart Law has 50. And a tremendous hand from him, 71 deliveries. He and Divenuto laid the platform, Law looking to go on with it.
Good 50 from Stuart Law. He has to go on with it now. He's opened the batting. Great start from he and Michael Divenuto. He'll be looking to bat through the innings now, Stuart Law. It'll be a big 100 if he does.
Come on!
But as the skipper, that's the responsibility he has to take on board. The great successes of Australian sides of the past, Marsh, David Byrne, players of that ilk, batting right through the innings. This is how he's put together his 50. Very strong on the offside, some beautiful drives.
Yourself!
Boundary square of the wicket, but his driving on the side has been immaculate. It's the strength of his game.
Go on, mate!
They're going. Mohan Khan asked the question. Umpire Davis says no. That's the over. It's 1 for 126. Ricky Ponting with a lot to play for here today.
Lovely bowling.
Seen the man that replaced him in the test side, failing both innings. Still a player the Australian select would look to over the coming years, but an early response from him after being relegated would do his psyche a lot of good.
Just carry one of the disappointing factors of Ricky Ponting batting at 3. Now we're seeing Justin Langer. The senior players such as Steve and Mark Waugh, no one's really put their hand up and said, no, I'll take that extra responsibility now. I think personally that's a little disappointing, throwing a young man like Ricky Ponting into that situation. None of our senior players were actually put in that situation when they were trying to establish themselves as test players. I do think one of the Waugh brothers should have taken that responsibility of the number 3 position and given an opportunity for the Pontings and the Langers of this world to settle into what is a very testing game.
In the air and caught. That was off a length. Afridi struck. Ricky Ponting has failed. Got a leaping leg spinner, more of a top spinner. It hit the splice of the back, ballooned in the air and was taken forward of point.
A disappointed Ricky Ponting. Shouldn't be too disappointed. That was a brute of a delivery. That in particular bounced. A little bit of spin there as well. Afridi should be happy. Ricky Ponting's disappointed.
New man Darren Lehman at the crease.
Good.
Law on strike at the moment. A new over, Amir Sohail. Darren Lehman's at the crease after the demise of Ricky Ponting.
Looking at this delivery, it's a brute. It's come off a length. It's hit the shoulder of the bat. Partially a leading edge and just a simple catch. Very good delivery to get early on in an innings. That's quite easily taken by Ijaz in the end.
Good.
Lehman off the mark immediately. Taking a ball on the rise, so tremendous confidence in the Australian A attitude. Everybody's gone on the up through the line from 1 to 4, and it's paid off, sire.
Interesting now if Australia A's captain Stuart Law can stay and really play a bit of a sheet anchor role as well as some good shots. That batting lineup is very strong from here on in. It's full of stroke play. Darren Lehman's just come to the wicket. Very good stroke player, likes to get on with it. Andy Simons, we've heard plenty of him, and he'll be keen to put a good score together quickly today. Ian Harvey, Adam Gilchrist. Those next three players love to get on with the game. Lehman in, and it's a middle order of substance for one-day cricket, Kerry.
Darren Lehman here, 63 not out from 63 deliveries against the West Indies at the MCG. Man very much in form at this type of game. There's plenty of overs to bat. 27th over beginning here, and immediately Stuart Law takes the initiative with a cover drive on the rise. How well he's played that stroke today, as Simon O'Donnell has suggested through the offside, many of them on the up. Favourite zone of his.
See Afridi, quicker ball. Stuart Law straight onto the front foot.
Good.
And may look for two. Long on in very quickly.
Such a strength to Stuart Law's game, his front foot play. I'm not suggesting in any shape or form he can play well off the back foot and cut and drive off the back foot on the offside particularly well. Cover driving and straight driving, on driving off the front foot are a pleasure to watch. We've seen great shots in that area today. Will suggest has to keep this going. It'd be great to see him bat through. It'd be a big score. He's taking that responsibility as captain.
That quicker arm ball from Afridi. Lehman waiting for it with a short back lift. Played it pretty well through square. Got to be careful with this one.
Certainly, the great thing now, I think, particularly Greg Blewett when Australia played Pakistan in Adelaide. He got a real shock.
Gotcha.
That delivery came out and it beat him for pace. But as soon as the cricketers around Australia get one look at it, they're aware and they really keep a good eye out for it. There it is. It comes out, but Darren Lehman, short back lift, as you said, Kerry. They're all now aware there's not a lot of shock left in Afridi's faster ball.
Those two wickets have brought a halt to the run rate. Good second over. It was 14 off it, and then the 13th was a bonanza. Since then, Pakistanis have tightened.
Gotcha.
In the air and wide of the long off. So Stuart Law again in being that cover drive and benefiting from it. 2 for 130. Darren Lehman, and Australia A, having won the toss, very well placed. Lehman advancing. Been positive stuff from the young Australians. Everybody who's come in has immediately launched into his stuff. DiVenuto 63 from 63 deliveries. Law's played beautifully. And the run rate over 5 and been maintained. Lots of arm balls being tried by both Pakistani spinners. Sohail looking to jag one back. Afridi's tried a few. Still the drives come from the Australians. Prepared to take on the infield. Even if they're not to the ball, they're going over the top. So it's been a very fine effort from Stuart Law. He's set the tone. He'd dearly love a century here. 60 from 82. Settling for one. So the running between the wickets has slowed a little, Simon. It was frenetic early. It appears that they've got a good platform. They're not going to make too many mistakes.
The platform is set. It's the middle order to follow. They can really capitalise on the work of Law and DiVenuto. Ball far too short from near Sohail. Stuart Law is seeing them like a pumpkin. Now, if he's meant to be seeing them like a pumpkin this time of year, IG, he hasn't made many mistakes out there this afternoon.
End of Sohail's over. After 28, 2 for 141.